Welcome back to Big Mouth, and we're talking about the Smallville series finale 10 years on. When I first saw this episode, this final episode of a 10-year journey of this Superman TV show, this pre-Superman TV show, I labeled it as a betrayal. Remember, you can follow me and tag me over on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Please like, share, and subscribe and tell everyone about the channel. So I saw the Smallville series finale as an absolute betrayal. I had been obsessed with this show for over a decade, still supporting it when Alan Miles, the showrunners and genius creators and good men who took this show on for 7 seasons, had left. When we lost Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor, Christine Krug as Lana Lang, and especially a big loss, as well as Michael Rosenbaum, which was a huge loss, was John Glover as Lionel Luthor. We'd already lost Annette O'Toole after season 6 as Martha Kent, and Schneider as John Kent, who was amazing, the best live-action Jonathan Kent in season 5, mid-season 5. So we lost the identity of the show, but I still stuck with it. I always felt the final 3 seasons of Smallville weren't as good as the first 7, but there were some moments, some great moments within those final 3 seasons in season 8, season 9, and season 10. So I felt season 10 wasn't the greatest season of Smallville. My attitude was that this is the final season of this decade-long story. They did so well crafting Clark, crafting Lex, crafting all these DC characters. Superman's, supporting characters. It was so great. And Clark's journey and Lex's journey were fantastic. Even Lana Lang got a great arc. But for me, the finale was really a finale of the final 3 seasons and not the whole 10 seasons. This is what they were focused on. This finale came in 2 parts. Now in the DVD box set, it's basically as one 90-minute kind of a big movie, if you like. The first part is wasted with a wedding for Clark and Lois that never actually happens. And so they spend a lot of time on the romance. Now there's some, look, Erica Durance as Lois and Tom Welling as Clark were really good together. Though that romance worked for a lot of people. But we had a situation. The shippers had invaded this show. So we had Chloe's fans and we had Klarna fans. And those fans could be very hateful to other actors who weren't part of that ship. So Klarna fans hated Erica Durance because they took her seriously as Lois. And, Chloe's fans hated Klarna fans. It was this rivalry. Sometimes it was friendly banter. Sometimes it got kind of deep. And look what, some of these fans drove Christine Krug away. She even refused to come back onto the finale, saying, if I wanted to be in the finale, they would allow me to be in the finale. But the way I've been treated, I don't want to come back. But let's focus on this series finale. Now, many series finales flatter to deceive. And we've seen that so many times before, right? We saw it with the Game of Thrones finale. The way it finished up didn't please many people. They're often very anticlimactic. If you look at the Life on Mars series finale, that's very satisfying. It doesn't explain everything, and it finishes off very open-ended. But it's a satisfying ending. It gives you happy endings, but also it asks the question, is Sam dead? Is Sam alive? They kind of give you an answer, but you can also perceive your own answer. So it's pretty open ending. The Lost series finale, very controversial. The way they just ended up in a church and told us everybody dies. Yeah, we know that. Thanks for that. So I'm still kind of, I don't know. I'm split with the Lost finale still, but a great series. They just don't make shows like that anymore. And they don't make shows like Smallville anymore. This was such a unique take on Superman. This is a pre-Superman story, but he's still that character. He's still pure. He's still optimistic. He's powerful. He saves people. He saves people's lives, and he's got this journey. And his character's being crafted to one day becoming Superman. So One of the issues of the series finale is that Tom Welling refused to wear the Superman costume. Now, the official line was that he thought that Clark should never dress as Superman on the show because he basically wasn't Superman on the show. Now, I agreed on this. Season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, most of 10, doesn't have to wear the costume. It's fine. But when you get to that final episode and he becomes Superman, he even saves, he even stops Darkseid as Superman. And, Apocalypse is kind of coming to Earth's mass. He lifts it up. We don't really get a good view of that. I mean, listen, their budget wasn't great. They tried their best. Apocalypse looked great from the outside, at least. We didn't actually go on the planet. So they spend their budget mostly on seeing the outside of Apocalypse, and they had no money left. That was pretty obvious. And so Tom Welling didn't want to wear the costume. And I've heard, and I don't know how true it is, that when he signed his final contract extension, he had written in that he will never wear the costume. Now, I don't know how true it is. Now, I knew this would happen one day. Now he's saying he wants to be Robert Pattinson's Superman. He wants to be Superman in Flashpoint, blah-de-blah-de-blah. You're going to have to dress as Superman, Tom. I'd rather not see you there. Or at least maybe we can see you in your youth with the red jacket. That would be cool. But, yeah, so he didn't want to wear the costume. Now, my argument with Tom, and this wasn't my biggest problem with the Smallville series finale. I had other problems with it. But the thing is, actors have been dressing up for years, Shakespearean plays, I write, direct and star in my own theatrical plays, in the theatre here in Cyprus. And I dress up and I look like an absolute idiot. And that's okay with me. That's what being an actor is all about, becoming somebody else. So his official stance was it wasn't right for him to dress as Superman in Smallville. And as I say, that's fine for the rest of the series. But when you're talking about the finale, when he actually does become Superman, it was ridiculous. But it was his decision. I don't agree with his decision, and it was a shame. So at the end, when he opens up and he's got the Superman kind of top on, it's probably just a T-shirt anyway. It looks great, and it's a great ending. Don't get me wrong. And when he, flies from in the fortress and he becomes Superman, it's kind of great, right? And when he saves the plane that Lois is on, Air Force One, which is the president's plane, of course, that's all great. But refusing to wear the suit, Tom, was wrong. But the Smallville series finale has more problems than that. If that's what it was, its only problem, I think that's fine, right? Because they kind of crafted it quite well. They were clever people. Kelly Salders and Brian Peterson have been writing Smallville since series 2, and then they, took over from Alan Miles as showrunners, right? And in fact, Todd Slavkin and Darren Swimmer were running the show with them in season 8, but they were moved on. I think that's when the problems truly started. I think we really missed Todd and Darren's creative craft from the show. And I think they were more Alan Miles loyalists, and they liked the way Alan Miles did it. So it was a shame we lost them, by the way. But anyway, so I think when I look at it, there's some great elements. Look, I think they were overambitious with bringing Darkseid in and Apocalypse in. They didn't have the budget to even show Darkseid. We saw him once when he rises in the grave, and we see this CGI version of him. It's okay, but it's not great. But then they have this idea that he takes over, Earth, this Elseworld, Lionel Luthor's body. So he's got the Darkseid voice, but you don't see Darkseid. So that's who fights Clark in the series finale. And you've got dialogue like does he say the last son of Jor-El or the lost son of Jor-El or something like that? Maybe he says the lost son of Jor-El, because if he says the last son of Jor-El, it makes no sense. Anyway, instead of having a proper fight, because this is Smallville and they don't have the budget and they use their series finale budget on Apocalypse, they have this whole kind of showing us Clark's best bits. So we see what made Clark so great. And it's like watching Big Brother when they show you your best bits, right? And then he rises up, he flies through Darkseid as John Glover, as Lionel Luthor, as this guy who's been taken over by Darkseid, and he beats him very easy. And before that, hilariously, Darkseid says, "I will annihilate you." Well, you didn't annihilate anyone, mate, did you? This is not Darkseid. I'm sorry. There would have been a stronger fight there. So, first of all, they tried their best with Darkseid. I think the themes they used with people being influenced by Darkseid, and that was interesting. But when, in the end, when you have to use Darkseid and you have to reveal him, Kelly and Brian, you simply just didn't have the budget. And that's the problem here, and that's the problem I had with it. So I think the characters were wrapped up pretty well. It's great to see John Schneider back as Jonathan Kent's ghost, and for him to be at Clark's wedding was amazing. It was a very emotional finale. It had a lot of good in it, and no series finale is going to please everyone. I think it's a very disjointed finale. I think it does okay. It makes him Superman, whatever you think. But the highlight of this piece, this final episode in a decade, is the return of Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor. Now, this guy hasn't played Lex in 3 seasons. Now, normally when he was in Smallville full-time, he would get his head shaved, but he had, a blatant bald cap. It wasn't the best bald cap, but it worked in certain angles, and you could see they were trying to shoot him in his best angles. The whole thing was rushed because they were trying to get Michael back for months, and he was refusing. And in the end, I think he realised fans were turning on him, and he needed those fans for his future career, so he agreed. But Michael's performance was as crafted as ever. Now, this guy probably had no rehearsal time, just came into Canada, did the scenes, and went again. He had about 2 scenes. His best scene was with Clark in the burnt-out Luthor mansion, and that dialogue between them was Kelly Souders and Brian Peterson at their best, and I love still watching that. It's brilliant. So in terms of that encounter, that was important. That was the highlight of the whole thing. Now, although it's a disjointed finale, ultimately I look back at it now with a lot more generous eyes than I first did. And I think series finales have expectancies. And I think this is why I have issues with the Smallville series finale. Maybe not because it's that bad, but maybe I was expecting something else. Maybe I wanted them to copy and paste how he becomes Superman in Superman the movie, or, a bit more comic booky. Maybe. Ultimately, I believe they genuinely did the best they can with Welling not allowing them to dress him in the suit, everything. Ultimately, it was a great wrap-up for the series, but I think it certainly made mistakes, but it doesn't change anything for me. Smallville is one of the best television series ever made. It took the character of Superman. It brought in all these DC characters to cameo. It brought in Christopher Reeve as Dr. Virgil Swan, Terrence Stamp, who played Zod in Superman 1 and 2, as the voice of Jor-El. Brilliant concepts. It's a work of art, and I'll never forget it. Now, please let me know what you think of Smallville, the series finale, and the show in its entirety. Is Smallville still the best superhero show you have ever seen? Comment down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, I'm here live with the Big Mouth Daily every morning, 7 days a week from 9 p.m. and in the evening with Big Mouth Live from 6 p.m. UK time. So I'll check you out live, and I'll do these pre-recorded videos now and again. So comment down below, like, share, and subscribe. Tell everyone about me, and I'll see you later when I'm live.